you don't actually secure yourself in any other way. It's just the rope that you're holding, is it?
No, man, this is Bulgaria.
Hello, Maria. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. How are you doing tonight?
I'm so great after talking with you for 5 minutes. I think I was tired a little bit before, but now I think my energy is back. So I'm ready for this episode.
All right. I am fabulous. It's so great to hear that. I think I need to put that as a requirement to talk to the guests, 5-10 minutes before that, just to give them a little kick because you don't look tired at all. Well, thanks so much for this episode. I am so looking forward to learn things about Bansko, a place that I've been only once and I've been working a bit. But before we go to Bansko, we are always curious to hear about our guests. I have never met you, as most of my guests. All I know is that you do tons of projects, and I'm really confused which one is which and what's your role and what's happening. So, can you take 2, 3, 4 minutes? Not more than 15, not more than 15, because I know you can talk a lot on this. Just tell us who you are, what's happening with you, and just give us a brief summary.
Yeah, you're not the only one that's confused. Sometimes I'm also confused. No, but yeah, my name is Maria Stoyanova, as maybe this episode is saying in the title or anywhere else. I work at Travel Massive full-time, so that's my main thing. Travel Massive is a network of tourism professionals. So we do have over 60,000 members around the world. Which is pretty cool. It's a B2B network, so it's super nice to meet people that work in the tourism industry. And also, I'm kind of obsessed with the tourism industry. I did 10 years of education in that sphere. What else? I'm also a travel blogger for 6-7 years now, maybe 8. I work remotely also for that time, 7-8 years. I also work for, what is this? WHTT, which is Women in Hospitality and Travel Tech. So this is also a community of people that support the mission of just having more diversity and inclusion in any event and any industry, any appointment, any project.
Wow, well, there was something else as well. Is it a storm? A storm?
Oh, yeah. I forgot
I understand.
that.
Yeah, you're getting confused. So many. Yeah. What is a storm? What is a storm? Tell us.
Yes, a STOM is an association of travel bloggers in Bulgaria. So this we started, I don't know, 3 years ago, I think, with a bunch of Bulgarian travel bloggers. And we just got together, formed a community, and we tried to educate tourism professionals in Bulgaria and also travel bloggers in Bulgaria how to turn this into profession, how to collaborate with each other, how to earn money from it. And
yeah, you've been traveling a lot, and well, thanks so much for that summary. Now it's slightly more crystal clear, slightly, but better than before. I know we can talk about a lot of destinations with you because you've been traveling a lot, but we're gonna be talking about Bansko because you chose to visit Bansko for quite a few times, and now you're actually living in Bansko. So you're born in the east side of the country. Bansko is roughly on the west side, more to the west. So more west than where you're from. So how that happened? Why did you decide to go to a ski resort and live there? Like, what's the crack?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. A ski resort. Ew, what's a disgusting place. No, so 4 years ago, I came to Bansko for the first time when the co-working space here opened. Co-working Bansko is a big part of my journey as well. So I'm going to mention them quite a lot. 4 years ago, they invited me to organize an event for travel bloggers. So we invited a bunch of travel bloggers from all over the world. I think we had a good group of 20, 30 people that came from everywhere. For a week, we spent in Bansko, and the goal was to, just to spread the word about Bansko, about the co-working space, and also to learn a little bit more about travel blogging. Then we kept organizing this event for every year. So we did have it since 4 years. And I just came to Bansko for a week just for that event. And only last year I spent a little bit more time in Bansko because I wasn't able to travel that much. for obvious reasons. So I just looked for a place where to spend a little bit more time and then be surrounded by nature, but most importantly, be surrounded by international community of people, because that's what keeps me going. That's what motivates me. Just people from different backgrounds talking, sharing stories, and working on their projects. So yeah, 3-4 months ago, I actually moved to Bansko. So now I call Bansko my home.
Well, now that hub that you're talking about, this, hub of creators, anytime I speak to somebody, I tell them, if all these remote, content creators and people working remotely, I always mention that hub. And to be fair, I think this hub is going more and more popular because people are, more people talk about that. There's like, oh, actually, no, I've heard about it. And just to correct myself, okay, Bansko is on the west, but it's on the southwest. And Bansko attracts many people from different countries, like from Greece, which is close to Greece. It's a good option not to go to the expensive Austrian resorts, for example, but go to the cheaper Bulgarian resorts. So how about the people what type of people can we find there? Are there any local Bulgarians that live there, or what's happening?
Yeah, well, people mostly come here not specifically for the ski and because it's a winter resort, especially in the co-working space. People come here because of the community. So we do have quite a lot, maybe 80, 100 digital nomads that live in Bansko at the moment, which is quite a lot for us, for a town that is 12,000 people population. This is pretty impressive. So the community is super, super cool. You can meet people from anywhere around the world, and these people are, generally more free, more flexible, more motivated to work on their projects. And what was the other question? What kind of people come here? Yeah, just startup founders, freelancers, IT people, anyone that can work remotely is coming to Bansko.
This is so interesting because Bansko is a ski resort, and I always imagine people that want to go skiing will go there. I have never imagined people. Now that can be an opportunity for digital nomads to stay there, because probably there is something like that in Sofia, but being in the nature, and be able to do outdoor activities, it's kind of a different. You need to go out of the capital to do these type of things, but Bansko is offering all these things, and I think it's a amazing thing that you're offering there. All right, so how about you give us some tips then? When it comes to Bansko, what will be your, I don't know, tips that you want to share to people that are going there?
Yeah, for sure. The number one thing is to bring your hiking boots and hiking gear, but also to bring your swimming suit, which sounds a little bit
okay. You
weird.
need to explain a bit more here.
Yeah, well, one of the best things about Bansko is not only the town is located in the mountains and you can go hiking basically in the morning and then go back to work in the afternoon. But also around in the area, we have a lot of hot mineral pools, which are, I think, just the best way to finish your day. After a long day of hiking, you can just go to, let's mention a few, Izgreva in Banja village or Villa Victoria, or there are also some hidden mineral hot pools inside the woods. So if you if you feel adventurous, you can come to me and I can show you some of those. So yeah, just bring your hiking boots and bring your swimming suit.
Okay. This was a pleasant surprise, because when you said bring your swimsuit, I thought you're going to say, like, there are many indoor pools you can join there, but you're actually talking about mineral pool. That's quite attractive, to be fair. Yeah. Even in the woods. Okay. So you're offering your services to show us around. Is that what you said?
Just a friendly, friendly Bulgarian that you can ping if you're coming to Bansko.
Okay, so all your details will be in the description. Yeah, so anyone who has any questions, maybe you'll be able to help. That's fantastic. Also, if you have any blog posts on all this, whatever it is, we're gonna link them in the description. So that's a great tip. I was going to say, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, that was a great tip. Okay. Anything? Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say. You said bring your ski boots and hiking boots with you, and I would just want to add here, I usually don't go to winter resorts. I go to summer resorts. But when you go in an environment like that, And even if you're not into hiking or probably skiing, but when you see everybody around doing it, I mean, at some point you're gonna want to try it at least. So I understand that tip.
Mm.
Take your boots, take your swimsuit, and just go with the locals. Fantastic. Do you have another tip for us then?
Ooh, what else? Hmm, hmm, hmm. Well, there's quite a lot of things happening in Bansko. So
Mm.
if you're thinking that you're coming here and then you're going to be bored, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
I'm basically struggling to find free time here, especially if you join the co-working space. There's like events happening every single day. We have board games night, we have poker nights, we have movie nights, we have techno parties. We have so many things happening that, yeah, you open the website of the co-working space, you're not going to see that much things here. But if you come inside this community, there's so many expats as well that are outside of the co-working space that self-organize, let's say, mountain biking or any hikes. It's just so many things are happening here. I'm mind blown.
So how do you join this working space? What's the process? Is there any application process you pass, or what is happening?
There's a test of 60
Oh,
questions. No. No. Well, basically, as any other co-working space, you have to pay a monthly subscription, and then you can use all of the offices that the co-working space has in the town. In this case, the Bansko co-working has 4 offices around town. You become part of the community, which means you are invited to all of the events. You are part of the Facebook group that you can basically find people for anything. For example, last night we were talking about doing a trip to Kilimanjaro next year, maybe. So you can find people for basically anything here, and that's a good thing. I mean, being part of the community and feeling that you belong somewhere, and then having people around you to share similar interests, similar activities is just, I think it's worth every penny, let's say.
I think you are quite invested in. You're so invested in that hub that I got confused that you work for the organization
Yeah.
or something. And
I
that's really
know.
impressive. The way you share it, the stories that you share, it makes me want to be part of it itself. So yeah, if I come to Bansko, I'll definitely send you a message. Okay, so what I'm curious about is, where is Maria eating?
Well, especially now we're all eating at the office.
Okay.
I don't know when you're gonna when you're gonna release this, but as we know, the restaurants, maybe you don't know, I don't know, the restaurants in Bulgaria at the moment are not working, so we all eat at the office ordering food. But of course I can recommend some of my favorite restaurants in Bansko. So when they open and people arrive here, they can go and enjoy and support the local businesses. So my favorite restaurants for traditional food is called Banski Han. I really
Oh.
like that one. They cook very, very well, and some traditional dishes that I have no idea how to pronounce even. But yeah, if you want some traditional Bulgarian and Bansko food, I think that is the place. Yeah, that's Banski Han. It looks very authentic in site as well. Oh, one of the pictures is actually from my blog. So
Oh.
if you see the BOP, the meal on the Google search results, that's mine, travelingbuzz.com. See?
Oh, yes, yes,
No,
yes.
you didn't see it. Up. Right.
Oh, here you go.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
look
I
at
have an
that.
article about Bansko, so that's delicious. Yeah. Anyway, there are
Did
quite
you
a
get
few other
did you get
places. So we do
hungry right
have
now?
Oscars. Yeah, I did. I mean, I haven't had this food in months since the restaurants are closed. So I miss that one. We have Oscars. That is a little bit more sophisticated place. They have an amazing selection of wine as well. For breakfast, we have an amazing bakery called Le Petit Nicolas. So
That's a bit of a tongue
they
twister.
do a lot of pastries. No, it's French. Don't you speak French?
We no, actually no, I don't.
No. Okay. No, it's a very nice bakery. What else? The House is a very good restaurant. Chalet Janica is a very good place as well. There are quite a lot of, these local, authentic, small family restaurants as well that you can get very decent food here.
Banski Han. Okay, but Banski Han is at the top. Okay, good point.
Yeah, I think so.
Good point over there. So when do you think they're opening, by the way?
Oh, it's hard to say, but maybe in spring, in a few months, let's say. I hope in 2, 3 months the restaurants will open, at least in some, I think, limited capacity or whatever. But yeah, for now, they're closed. I don't know if you want to talk about the COVID situation here.
Nah, nah,
Nah, let's
we
ditch
don't we
that.
don't care about that. Okay, so what I'm interested then in that case, what about the money situation? So do we need to
Mm.
exchange money in advance, or is there a good exchange bureau over there, or am I good with euros, or what's the crack?
We only use Bulgarian levs here. It's always good to have some cash around because not all the places accept cards. Although it is quite a popular winter resort, so a lot of places are accepting also credit cards for payment. But if you arrive in Bansko, you're definitely, I think, landing in Sofia. So there's exchange offices in the Sofia airport or in the city. Also, there are quite a few here. But yeah, just have some cash in the local currency when you arrive here. But also we have ATM. So if somewhere, some place does not accept credit cards, you can always withdraw some money.
Hmm. Good points. Good points. I'm a bit surprised. I thought they will be taking euros as well over there. But
Mm-mm.
how about prices then? What would you say? How would you compare Bansko to other parts of Bulgaria and to the capital? And if you've been
Hmm.
to other ski resorts as well outside Bulgaria, like what do you think as a comparison?
Good question. I haven't been to other ski resorts, so I cannot compare that. But I'm pretty sure it's a little bit more affordable.
Hmm.
The prices in Bansko are very, let's say, affordable. That's an easy way to put it. Especially compared to Sofia, you can see that Bansko is a bit cheaper. Rents in Bansko are very cheap because unfortunately Bansko is popular for overconstruction. So we do have quite a lot of empty buildings here that are offering, rents. So you can find places from 150 euros per month, which is, I think, very good deal for a place like that. Living in the mountains, dipping in the hot pool, having an amazing local food with, fresh ingredients. But yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than Sofia. It's quite affordable. So especially for digital nomads that are looking for, more affordable places, this is a very good point to start.
And Bansko is just one bus ride from Sofia, isn't it? About an hour or so?
2 hours from Sofia,
Two
let's say.
hours.
With a
Okay.
car, you can do 1 hour, hour and a half, I think.
Hmm. Okay. And when I worked in Bansko, I stayed there for a month, month and a half. And basically, I was just working and sleeping, working and sleeping. I just didn't do much. Are there any attractions apart from, hiking and skiing and mineral pools? Is there anything that you can see in Bansko itself, only in Bansko?
Bansko is quite relatively small town. So there is the old town. Maybe you've walked around it as well. You can take a walk. You can see, the big Saint Trinity Church, which is quite, I think it's the iconic look of Bansko. There are quite a few house museums. So famous Bulgarians in the past, they just turned their houses into museums. So if you're interested in that, you can go visit them. Some poets as well. Um, but yeah, inside Bansko, there are a few bars as well, so you can go, having a few drinks after that. It's a very nice place for a walk. But apart from that, I think the value in Bansko is basically the nature and the surrounding mountains.
Yeah, makes sense. And yeah, you said surrounding mountains. Every photo you open, it's basically mountains from at some point, peeking out. Makes sense. Okay, what about in the area? So if we get, in a way, enough of Bansko, which in your opinion, I don't think that's an option. But what about in the surrounding area? You said you hiked in some peaks in the area, or What was that about?
Mm. Oh yeah, I mean all the time. You're surrounded by basically three mountains, so there are countless of peaks that you can go to. My favorite one, let's say, is Polejan, which is very close. You start with a car ride for 30 minutes, and then you go to Bezbokhut, and then you hike for 2 hours, and then you reach Polejan Peak. It's quite picturesque. Yeah, you have a view to the whole Pirin Mountain. You can open Koncheto Ridge, which is a bit scary and extreme.
Oh, I've seen
So
photos
this
from here.
one, yes, this is pretty cool. It's super close as well. It is next to Vihren Peak, which is the highest peak of Pirin Mountain. And from Bansko, you can take a ride for 20 minutes, go to Vihren Hut, and start the hike. So this one, my legs were shaking when I did that one.
Wow.
So you can see there is a rope, but it's super dodgy. There is a rope in the middle that you have to hold in order to pass through that ridge, because it's of course super steep on both sides. But yeah, I think it's an epic experience to have.
Yeah. So you don't actually secure yourself in any other way, it's just the rope that you're holding, is it?
No, man, this is Bulgaria. Why would you secure yourself? You have to have, that YOLO moment. I mean, you're Bulgarian. You have to know that.
Yeah. What was I thinking? Yeah. I completely, forgot about that fact. Yeah. Makes sense. Great answer. Great answer. Okay. So if I want to go there, then how much that will cost me? Is it just transportation? Do I pay something extra?
If you want to go to Koncheto Ridge?
Yeah.
To the mountain or to Bansko? Oh, wow. That's a very surprising question, I think, to me, because it's so cheap that you don't even think about money.
Really?
Well, a taxi ride would be, let's say, 20 leva total, which is 10 euros total for 4 people, which is like 2 euros per person to go to Vikrenhut. You need some food, so maybe you need 5 more leva to spend on some sandwiches and stuff like that. Yeah. So to come here, it's so cheap. It's like, I don't know, you can go around with 10, 20 euros maximum of expenses to reach that place.
Crazy cheap.
Yeah, I mean that's nature, right? You don't really need to pay that much. You just have to protect it, of course. But to have these kind of experiences, you don't need that much money.
Yes. I'm starting to see why you love that area over there. Can you share another outside destination you have? Just one more.
Let's see what's attractive to people. I think it's worth sharing the Rila Monastery, which is, let's say, 2 hours from Bansko. So if you're coming to Bulgaria, it's, worth visiting a UNESCO heritage site on the way, right? Yeah, when you open that on your screen, people will see that it's quite a magnetic place, I think. Yeah, it's very, very pretty. They restored it. The colors are so amazing. And it's very photogenic. So you can do a lot of Instagram photos here.
Yeah, definitely. And this is I went to the monastery for Sofia. So even if you're in Sofia, you can combine Sofia, Bansko, and the monastery as well. There are a lot of options in the south side of the country. We were talking with Maria just before that. And the northeast, there are not so many options what to see, but on the southwest, west, there, even in central Bulgaria, there are a lot of options that you can see, especially in nature. Yeah, but that was a good tip. Okay. Well, I just want to ask you something else as well. What about the food that is there? Like, what would you recommend to eat? You said go to Bansko Hut, but imagine a foreigner goes there and just sees the menu, which let's say probably has English options as well. It's like, I don't know what to order. Why don't you recommend a couple of dishes?
So the food in Bansko is quite traditional. It has a lot of meat. As maybe you know, most of Bulgaria has a lot of meat, a lot of barbecues happening here. We do have quite a few restaurants that are a little bit more different than the traditional food that we have here. We also have a Mexican restaurant in Bansko. Can you imagine?
Oh, you shocked me here.
That's pretty cool.
Do you have Mexicans though?
No. It's a Mexican restaurant. It's pretty cool, actually. I don't know the story of the guys, but I'm pretty sure they have some story with Mexico, right? Because they do
Okay.
amazing cocktails as well.
Ah,
Um, of course, when you're in Bansko, you have to try the traditional salad that you can try anywhere around Bulgaria, shopska salad.
uh-huh.
Some of the foods, what can I recommend? I've eaten so many traditional food that I've totally forgotten what it is about because it's part of my life, right? Oh yeah, that's the shopska salad.
Ooh,
It's in
I
the
think when we
ooh.
finish this episode, you're going to eat.
I think I'm hungry. That's the thing. Yeah. For breakfast, you should definitely try banichka and boza
Classic.
from. Yeah, of course. There's a bakery behind the municipality building in the old town, so you can buy that. Oh, boza, most most likely nobody will like.
What is your experience?
Okay.
Because when I show boza to foreigners, they usually don't like it. What is your
Yeah, of
experience?
course.
Yeah, they don't like that.
No,
Hmm.
nobody, nobody likes it. Some person from the co-working space just said, I think a few days ago, he was gonna throw up when when he tried boza for the first time.
Wow.
No, but I love it. I mean, also, I think you also grew up with panichka and boza,
Oh
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, of
Yeah,
course. It's a classic
that
combination for breakfast.
that's why we love it. I think.
Maybe that's why. Okay, well, fantastic. To be fair, I know more now than before. I'm not sure what else to ask. I think you covered everything that I was curious about. Is there
Mm.
anything else that you think that we missed, but it's worth to be included in the podcast?
Let's see. What can we talk about? Why don't we talk about winter sports? I love snowboarding now. I
Now,
am
okay, tell me
now
then.
because I just started snowboarding here last month, I think, and I'm totally hooked on it. So I try to go on every occasion. Maybe it's worth mentioning that snowboarding is not cheap, but maybe people know it's not a cheap hobby to have. So I was hesitant for the last years to start any winter sports because you have to buy the season pass or any kind of pass for the ski resort. You have to buy your and equipment, of course. Your snowboard or ski as well are not very cheap, but there are many options in Bansko where you can find ski rental, snowboard rental shop. You can also find amazing teachers, and you can learn how to ski or snowboard here.
Mhm.
The slopes are not as big as in European resorts, is what I've heard, but I think it's a good place. And also, especially now in COVID times, we are quite lucky to not have that many people at the moment on the slopes. So for me, it was, I think, pretty easy to learn snowboarding for the last weeks that I've been learning. Also, these ski snowboard rental shops, they turn into let's say bike or hike rental shops. So in summer, these mountains are amazing for mountain biking, for some hikes, as we
Mhm.
mentioned before. The prices of the ski resort, maybe that's also interesting thing to mention.
Yep.
So a day pass in Bansko is 70 leva, which is around 35 euros, I think.
Mhm.
Mm, if you want to buy a season pass, this costs around, let's see how much that is that in euros, 600, 700 euros for the whole season, which is around 3 months long. Not a bad
Is
deal, I
that from
think.
December?
Yeah, the season opens in December, usually middle or end of December, and it continues until April, mid April.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's the most expensive resort in Bulgaria, and people don't like it that much because it is quite expensive. um, but yeah, I mean, the town. I think the charm of the town of Bansko is that you can also live here, not just come for a week and it's only alive in winter. That's not the case here. The resort is actually alive in the summer as well, so it's a great place to live. Oh, you can see Bansko in the distance as well,
Yeah,
the
it's a good
little
photo. Yeah.
houses.
It's a really interesting photo because on the other side, you don't look at the slope, you look on the other side. So is that
Mm,
just the slopes are just one side of Bansko, and you just one way you can go.
Mm,
or they are different ones?
yeah, I guess. I mean, you get the cabin lift. You go on the top of the top of the mountain, and from there you have a few lifts that can take you to a few points in the mountain, and then you go down on the slopes that you want. I'm not sure how many slopes does the resort have. Maybe around maybe around 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna lie. Yeah, we have to double check that.
Okay.
So we don't lie to people.
All right. So would you say it's actually probably not, but would you say if it's cheaper if you just live there rather than just going for a week?
Ooh, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Because I think you will spend less money if you rent an apartment for
Mm.
a month or 2 or 3 months, and live here instead of living in another country. Because as we mentioned, the rents are quite cheap. Um, and also, if you invest in a season pass or any kind of a month pass, it will be cheaper for you to go to the mountains instead of buying, let's say, a day pass or just a week pass.
I see. And would you say would you have any recommendations? Where's the best place to stay in the best region?
Mm. So if you want to be close to the restaurants, to the city center,
Yeah.
let's say maybe for the summer, that's a better idea. You can stay in the old town. So you can see on the map, it's in yellow, basically.
Yeah.
The old part of the town. It's quite cozy, very very picturesque. Um, if you want to stay in a place that is close to the ski lift, so in the winter you can just go outside of your apartment and be on the lift. You can stay in the highest part of the town, so it should be down on
Okay.
this map that you're showing.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you just make a big circle on that area next to the mountain, and that's the area. Yep, close to the gondola, close to the ski lift.
Uh-huh.
Also, it is said that the air is a little bit fresher there because you're closer to the woods, to the mountain, and also it is a little bit higher, so you have a very nice view to the surrounding area and to the whole town.
Mm. Okay, that was great. That was great. That was very insightful. Even we included prices for winter sports, which is great. It didn't occur to me because, as I told you, I'm not a really winter sports
Yeah.
guy. But yeah, that was really really good information for everyone who's traveling there. All right. Do you think anything else we missed?
Oh, did we miss anything? Pum pum pum. I don't know. If you put me on the spot,
It seems
I
like
think it's
I think that's it.
yeah. I think this was pretty cool. If anyone has any questions, of course they can message us anytime.
It was pretty concise, like structured really pam 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 pam, and we showed everything that's needed. So yeah, we're gonna put your links and to your social medias and to your blog posts in the description. And also, if anyone has any questions or just want to say a friendly hi when they arrive to Bansko, Maria with her smile is always there for you.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay, Maria, thanks so much for joining us. Now you're free to go and have your dinner. Get a
I
drink
cannot
as well with that.
wait.
What are you going to eat now?
I can't wait. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm dreaming of pizza for some reason.
No, I can always eat
Classic.
pizza. I can always eat pizza.
Yeah,
I
me
understand. I can
too.
always
Me
eat pizza.
too.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining us. And I wish you a lovely meal.
Thank you for having me, and I wish you to come to Bansko soon.